What the heck's this? Nice. Let's get into this. Hey, it's James from Finney Electrical. On today's video, we're working on the ranch. So I've got a customer who lives out in the sticks, so he's got all these sheds around here which have lost power. So basically we've got to figure out why it's lost power. So a bit dark in here, to be fair, I don't know if you can see this, but basically the power comes in off a 3-phase telegraph pole into like a cupboard, and then it's armoured coming up under and into these boxes. What we're going to do is just identify basically where the power is at each stage. So if there's power missing somewhere, there must be something causing it to trip. So it should be a fun one today. So it's a bit of fault finding, so let's get into this. First things first, we've got to fluke out, fluke test it, get some screwdrivers out. So PRK Ricky were asking about this head torch, so asked for a little review. I've used it for probably about a couple of weeks now, so it does last about 4 hours. It's quite bright, so it's ideal if you're just working directly in front. It don't cast like loads of light out over like a large area, but maybe a few meters in front it's really bright, so it works really well for lofts and stuff like that. So then, so the cables come in, so we've got an armoured here which runs along and into here. We've got another armoured coming up, and that runs into this little board here. So what we'll do is just take a little piece off at a time and see if there's any power there, and then if there's no power there, we'll just follow it back. I don't know if you can see me. We'll just follow it back and see where it's powered from and see if there's power there basically. So we'll work from the dead source back. So you can see any sockets aren't working. But yeah, I'll just unscrew some screws. We'll check if there's anything working in here. A lovely little spider there. Nice. Right, we'll check if there's power here, then we'll go from there really. Let's see if we can do this one-handed then. So on the neutral. So we're getting a tone. So when you get a tone between neutral and earth, it's either it's been cut into, or most likely it's connected to source, because neutral and earth are connected, aren't they? At the transformer. So there's nothing between line and earth. So that's a good sign really. So it's most likely that something's turned off powering up this. Obviously this doesn't do anything, but he wants to also check what power he's got coming into his shed and stuff like that. So because he might actually use his supply, so if we can get it powered up and working, then he's got another cable to use for powering bits up like that. So let's have a look in the yard where the main transformer comes in. Oh, got a call coming in. Oh, it's absolute freezing. It's like -2 today. All the ground's all nice and crispy and frosty. So then, over yon, behind this little gazebo, the power comes in on these power lines. It gets dug under, and there's like a little hut, so I'll show you that. I don't know, quick way of testing. Just turn it on, watch it go bang. But yeah, if that would have turned on, it would have stayed on. It would have been just testing the cable, see if it come live. But that could do out, to be fair. So what we're going to do is go back in the shed. There's another few boxes to check out. So it could be that cable's just down and that's why it's been turned off. So most likely that's what that is. But yeah, they don't need that cable. So there's other bits in there. We can see another armoured cable come in, and on the garage there was one labelled up sheds. So that cable coming in might be the other cable powering up that little area. So we'll take a look at that and see what's going on. If you look here, one's labelled garage supply, so that'll probably power up the garage. And you've got outbuilding supply, which is probably that cable, which is down, so there we go. Alright, back in the sheds then. Get my torch back on. There we go. Right then, I'll open up this next one. So, let's see what we're dealing with. Oh, so it's a newer board, little Hager thing. So, this is workshop. Oh, what have we got on here? A 6 C40 and a C20. So then I've got 2 of these up here to check out as well, see what they're doing. Alright then, so here's the board cover off. So we can see this red one. Another that 20. Looks like that goes up to here. We've got a C40, which is this cable here. So I think that peels off and goes across like a concertina to the other shed. That's that one. And then we've got another armoured here, which looks like they're supplying. So we'll check if there's power here basically. Do some one-handed testing. Oh, it's looking good. 230 volt. Oh, we've got an earth. So good stuff. So what we'll do is turn it on, see if it trips. Test button works. And they're powered up. So that's powered up these two boards. I'm guessing one of the sockets, and there'll be like a little 30 amp fuse in there, and there'll be a 6 amp fuse in there for the lights, it looks like. So let's turn stuff on and see if it trips. If it doesn't trip, obviously it has tripped to it. It's already tripped like in the past. So what we'll do, we'll have to deaden the circuit, so we'll have to disconnect it, and then we'll have to get a tester and do some tests just to make sure that everything's testing out okay, and we're getting good like insulation resistance readings to make sure it's not going to trip the RCD when we leave. So right then, let's see what's working. Just going to check these sockets are on now. So you see it's wires out of that as a ring around here. Another go, that's working. Oh, it's absolute freezing. It's at -2. I was on phone to Ed and then he asked me something. I said, have you ever seen chicken run?
I don't want to be a pie. I don't like gravy.
I said, I'm working in a farm and it's absolute freezing. And it just reminded me of chicken run this. Now time to say hi to the chickens. Hopefully they don't mind me being here. A little chicken house. Look at chicken back. Just pure ice, look at that. It's absolute freezing. Right then, so he's put a socket here. He's put a socket here. So I think best bet's just to open these up, see if he's wired it right, and then check these as well. So I've got like a pat tester which tests for earth leakage. So we can just get them plug tops, plug it in and it'll test it. So that's a nice quick way of testing it really. Yeah, there's them cables going into the ground, so I don't know where they're going. So, yeah, I just opened this up and the cable popped out on me. Nice, flipping heck. Don't look too bad apart from that. There's no like water in it or out. Poor chicken, it's just been pecking at ice, thinking it's water. Poor thing. So I had to redo the earth as well, because that just popped out. So I think he's basically just got the strands, he hadn't twisted them. And when he clamped on it, he's tightened it that tight, it's just snapped the cords. Oh, that's just popped out as well. So I had to re-terminate that, but you can see it's just been tightened too much and not twisted over and doubled over. So we'll chop that and redo that as well. So here's the next socket. So you can see it's like a 1mm being used, a 1mm flex. We've got a little friend in there. So yeah, and that'll need gunging, so you can just get your finger in there. So we'll seal that off. And we'll check on the plug top, that's got like a 3 amp fuse in or something, or a 5 amp fuse for that 1mm. So it's a bit underrated, and it's not really pulling much, so I think we'll downrate that if it's the 30 amp in there. Yeah, the key takes it out, so what we'll do is get them plug tops, plug them in, and see if we get any weird readings. So this will tell you if there's any earth leakage. So we'll do one at a time, just so we can kind of identify what's what if we get like a bad reading. So we'll get him plugged in now. Nice little place though, isn't it? It's got a little gazebo and a little pond on that. Little ranch life, isn't it? So customers just told me there's a box over here with some electrics in, so we'll take a look at that. And we're not chasing the little duck. Hello. Loving it, aren't they? That must be Edcock over here. There's little bitches. Right then. Oh, what have we got here? Yeah, he literally just showed me this bit. Look at that, full. Oh, that's not good, is it? Oh. There we go. that's that tube that goes down the in the ground. And we've got an extension lead just set in water. Lovely. So I think we need to tip that out. Oh my goodness. There's like worms and everything in it. Yeah. I think what we'll do, we'll suggest it needs it needs to disconnect it really. It's just a bit of tube stuck in floor. Ideally, it needs like a little bit of armoured, a little waterproof socket on here like is installed over there. Plug his two things in, flap down the lid, jobs are good. So I think we'll suggest that, and we'll leave this unplugged, whatever this does. So we can't have that going about, can we? And we'll get nice and toasty now by the fire. So yeah, there was some fault finding in here. So this one working, but if you look over here, there's about 50 switches. So this one does that one. So you'd assume this one and do something in this room, but it doesn't. So to turn this one on, it's there. So I think they were flicking wrong switch without a bulb in. So got that working. So next thing, he wants to identify what these switches do. So we just, with the pencils, wrote dining, hall, kitchen. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 switches, which we don't know what to do. So what we're going to do, switch them off, and then just switch one on at a time, and look around the outside lights and the hallway or whatever, and see if we can find out what they do. He's also got suspicion that this intercom is for the gate. Over there, and there's some like little lanterns on them. Don't know if you can see that, like some lights on them. So he's thinking whilst around that end they might have run wires to switch on those wall lights from here, so we'll check that as well. Yeah, we couldn't do much filming then, just because he's in a meeting. So can't be talking to camera, can I really? So now we're just kind of investigating the switches. So what I've done, there's loads of switches in this like games room thing, and there's loads of switches in the kitchen area. So at the moment I'm just testing the games room switches. So I've knocked one off and it seems to have done the outside lights. I'm just checking these now. See, that's still live. But there's other switches still on. So it's not easy with two in it, just ringing them and saying flick switch off, but because it's just me, I'm just gonna walk this way and then walk all the way back. So I might bring two next time when we're down here. He basically wants the socket on that little gazebo area you saw earlier. So yeah, this has gone off now, so I flick one of them switches and it's actually turned that off. So all I'm doing, he just said in pencil, just writing a little note, like which they're doing basically. So here we go. If you look here, that's that switch. We've got outside light, which we've just tested. So the wired these way, if you flick it up, it's on, which is annoying. So what we'll do is just flick this one, and then we'll check it again and see if we've got pin a light up on it. So at the moment it's live, so hopefully that sorts it. So that's that one we just flicked back on. So that showed, well that's leveled up now. So let's check this other one down here. Yep, still alive. So it could be that this is just permanently fed. I doubt it, just because there's no control, and there's no like PIR on it, or just still done. Unless they've got like a sensor outside. Let me check these out. So they've got, I think these used to be little dog kennels. Got the name of the old dogs. Keth. There we go. Some around there. Sally. Oh, Eli. That's not an S. Yeah, let's flick some more switches off, see if we can get that to go. So we found that one now. So no volt, then action. So yeah, found that one finally. But yeah, there's still switches just doing nothing. So I've opened them up, had a look. There's cables coming out of them, but maybe they did all old light positions and they capped off. So the customer just wants to know exactly what they do. It's annoying having a switch, you don't know what it does. So right then, on to the next job. So next one, there's a little PIR floodlight there. So we'll see if there's power to it. If there's power to it, then he wants it swapping. And at the same end of here, there's a gate, and we're going to try and get those lights working at the end. I'll see if there's power there. See how the switching in that room just do the bay lights over the cars. And there's no other switches in there. They've got some two ways to these pillars, so you can walk in your garage and flick on each kind of section. But apart from that, yeah, it's perfectly powered. So all we're gonna do, it doesn't work, so I'm just gonna recommend just putting it's running outdoor cable anyway. So all we're gonna just put a little black whisker box on there, and then a bit of flex out of that to your new light. So we'll swap it out. But looking at that, it's quite a big yard really, isn't it? So he probably wants a good 50 at least, 100 watts, something like that PIR. It should nicely cover this area. So last job down here, we're just going to have a look at these pillar lights and see if we can get those working, or see if there's any power there. So here we go. Right then, these are pillar lights then. So it looks like bulb's blown and popped off. So what we'll do, we'll get these open. You can see them little terminals down there. We'll test those. I'm guessing these will be wired on together. So we'll just test them all. Check for power, look inside, see if we can switch it on and off, and go from there really. But it might be that they're just permanently fed and they've got like a dust alarm built in and the bulb's knackered, or the light fit is knackered. We'll see if there's power there first. So just going around back up pillar, we've got this little box here, got gubbin switch gate, little isolator that's on, and then I'm just seeing this little fused switch fuse spare. Fuse is dead, so might be a reason why. It could be that the bulb's blown and that's why it's gone. The only reason you put a fuse spare really here, you can imagine gate will be like a 2.5 to power it up, so they've probably put this in for the lights, so that could be why. So we'll have a look anyway and open up the lights if there's any power. If not, we'll put a fuse in, turn it on. There we go, we found a little box here that was switched off. Well, the Rcd had tripped, probably because inside that box it was full of like don't know, ants and wood lice and worms, so not right good. So I'll just turn that back on, hopefully that isolator's come live. And all we'll do, they're not bothered about the gate working, but they want the lights working. So all we'll do is just disconnect the power going to the gate and just make it go up to that spur which goes to the lights, hopefully. So we'll test this little beauty. Yeah, I've pulled them all out now, but all this was bottom was full of wood lice and bugs. Right then. Yeah, so I think it's the top which is incoming. Oh, we've got power, so it was that, which is good. Check there's an earth. Yep, 230 watts on the earth. What I want to do is disconnect the blue one, which is this blue one, which comes into here. So all this will be dead up. And then it's all that, look at it. It's all just knackered, isn't it? How bugs have got to it. Everything's corroded. So they need a new gate thing really, but so we'll get that back together. And then there's a black flex which you see go through the wall. That must go to there and then to the wall light. So I'll do that. Change the fuse on this and see if the power up. Yes, we got done down there. So we fault find the fault on the sheds. So it happened to be that socket just immersed in water, obviously. But we had to check everything out because we didn't want to just find. There could have been multiple faults, so we didn't want to just fix that and then not test everything else. But yeah, we checked everything over, everything looked fine, and we turned it back on and happy customer. Obviously we had to look at what the switches did because there were 50,000 switches in there, and we had to try and figure out what did what. So we did that as well, and we got the gate light working, so good stuff. Yeah, customer there, so I couldn't really film right at the end. So yeah, I'm on my way to see Aidan, and I've come across a little homemade honey pot. Look at that, £4. So I bought Aidan one, I've got me one. I thought I'd try it out, a bit of homemade honey from this area. We went middle of nowhere towards Hull. So there we go, honey. Let's try it out. There we go. Let's try this beast. Oh, look at that. Oh, I need one of them honey spoons, it's just dribbling. Oh yeah, that's good. There we go, nature's nectar. Right then, see what Aidan's getting up to. We'll have a bit of bonus feature today. We were going to stop it there, but let's see what Aidan's getting up to. Aidan's doing a first fix kitchen from the rewire. So we've finished the rewire, and Aidan's just don't know, wiring it up. So I'm going to go see him and see how he's doing. Bring him some food. We've got to hear that again, mate. What happened? Come on, come on, I want to hear this story, mate.
I'll show you that.
Go on, he'll show me.
I don't have that.
So I've just turned up at this job. I got him his food.
You've got to move that out now.
Where have you had your hand stuck then? What do you mean? So you've had both hands stuck underneath the floorboard and you couldn't move for 15 minutes?
No.
How do you get both hands stuck?
I tried to do one of those.
So you got one hand stuck and then you put the other one in again and that got stuck? Great. How do you food then? August time, got you.
It's the thing, either.
Ready? Drum roll. What's in my pocket? Oh, look at that pot of honey. Go and get your honey. You hate honey? I bought you it. Give that to your mother then. I'll do you, mate. I saw it on a roadside.
Really?
Yeah. It was like a self-service. And you like a money pot. There you go. Something like honey. There we go. So we've got you some nuggets in there. Fries, Coke. That'll do you. God, this is comedy gold. I said it was £4 a jar and about 40p an egg. What's an egg?
I don't know what an egg is.
You did say that. You said what's an egg?
I don't know why they're selling that though.
Well, they got chickens and they're selling their eggs outside the road. That is so funny, mate. So yeah, if you like this kind of content, hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the little bell notifications so you know when we next upload. As always, have a good one from me and Hayden, and we'll see you on the next one.